Hello? Hi, I'm here, I promise. Hello. Hello, dance party people. Thank you for being here, for being so enthusiastic. Sorry, my camera shutter was shut. Yikes. Hello. It's RimWorld beginning of stream and music ending of stream. Today, I have been continuing to try to learn some things about RimWorld. And so today may be a little bit behind the scenesy. I did a title change. Did I not click done? Try it again. Try it again. What is this about me doing all of the things about changing my title except for clicking the done button? It's not like it's not visible. It's bright purple. It's this color. It's wait. Hello, here. It's this color purple. You would think that would be enough. Constellatio, saluton, water, how are you? Ranter Jack, hello. It's so good to see all of you fine feathered friends. I love the dancing. That's something else. Now we're good. Okay, whew. It's just the pushing the button thing. All right, I have some coffee. I'm taking a deep breath. You may have noticed. I invite you to do so as well. It's lovely. Oxygen. It's the best. It's the bee's knees, as the cool kids say. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of tweaky stuff with our RimWorld colony. I still have a Wednesday colony and a Friday colony due to linguistic reasons. We have a Wednesday colony that we play in English and a Friday colony that we play in Esperanto. And that's allowing me to experience more different experiences, but on the other hand, I don't really love the confusion of going back and forth between the different colonies. So I'm not sure if I will continue to have two colonies on the go at once. To say nothing of my offline colony, because of course, you know, there's things that I want to try off stream that I don't necessarily do on stream. It's more of let me make all my mistakes let me try and make all the mistakes. So basically the colony that I have that's like just for playing, not for streaming, is a little bit farther along research level wise than my stream colonies, and I've never been that far along in terms of, research. So I'm learning how to do the things, and it's a little confusing, and that would probably be a-okay to do on stream, experiencing things for the first time. But on the other hand, it's just not the way it's happening at the moment. My friends, I just wanted to mention that I have not been doing a very good job in the last couple of days of keeping up with the Discord, and I'm hoping that I'm going to get some clarity due to some higher levels of sleep and lower levels of pain and all of the good stuff that allows us to function at the level at which we would like to be functioning, if you know what I mean. So I've been on the struggle bus, and I haven't been keeping up with the Discord, but I want to be keeping up with the Discord. So I have that aspiration that I'm going to catch up and get back into all of that stuff. What other newsy news? I am currently hunting for proofreaders for a translation project that I'm working on. So anyone who has a high level of grammatical mastery. Spelling is not, quite the problem in Esperanto as it is in English, but, proofreading for typos, hunting wabbits, yes. We're not just on the struggle bus. We are the struggle bus. Oh, I feel ya. So yes, hunting for wabbits and typos and grammatical errors. The things that happen in Esperanto especially are things like you start a sentence thinking you're going to structure it one way, and then you change your mind and not the whole sentence gets the message. So part of the sentence is structured in one way and part of the sentence is structured in another way, and it doesn't make sense. I suppose that can happen in English as well. Agreement is an issue in Esperanto. So things like making sure that if an adjective is plural, that the noun it refers to is plural. If one part of the sentence is a subject, then all of the parts of the sentence need to be in the subject form and not the object form. So vice versa. All of the object parts of the sentence, I won't say objective because that's something else, need to have the accusative, which is the object marker. So yeah, I won't say that I'm looking for someone who has a CFR, a specific CFR rating, but I think if a person has reason to expect that had they taken that exam, they would have passed with flying colors at the B2 level or passed easily at the C1 level. That seems like a reasonable place to be to attempt some careful proofreading. So yeah, we're talking about a book that is going to be published for Esperanto learners. It's going to be a 2-language novella by Myrtis Smith, who's a former student of mine, who's been writing short stories and novellas for Esperanto learners. And I think the novella is really well positioned in terms of it's like, here's what I think about it. It's like the grown-up version of chapter book. Do you remember when you graduated from storybooks to chapter books? And it was like, oh my goodness, I'm reading chapter books now. So in a language learner's journey, the novella is the chapter book of the language learner's journey. So I think it's a place where there's a lot of room for new material, and so she's writing stories in that form, and the chapters are short. They're like 2 or 3 pages, sometimes up to 5, but I'd say 3 pages on average. Novella, is that a term? Is that the word? You say that is a term. What is that? Don't know what we're talking about. I'm pretty sure it's not the word novella. I'm pretty sure you're referring to something else, but I don't know what it is because I said a lot of words. Chapter book. Oh, yeah. But it's specifically used in children's literature. Yeah. Music. Yes, there will be a music collaboration, collaboro. And that is going to happen next month. And, oh wait, it's already March. How did that happen? That is going to happen this month with the lovely, the ever bubbly Claire Picks. Excuse me as I slurp my coffee. Putting that back on the heater for now. Saluton. Bone vidi vindankon provia visito Redder Jack. Yes, this is one of Claire's new emotes. Claire is currently debuting 5 new emotes in her channel, one on each of 5 consecutive streams. There are 3 more. Thank you for those multi-manner, that's not how you say it in English, multi-way shout outs. That's also not how you say it in English. Many kinds of shout out. Is that how you say it in English? It's something like that. You would think. How long have I been speaking English? A long time. Yes, so the new emotes are loud and notes, and I am so all about them. Honestly, I just dig it. I think they're beautiful. They're super colorful and very fun. I use dark mode on Twitch, so they're a little, the background kind of eats them a little bit, but they're still really nice. And I'm only imagining that in regular mode, non-dark mode, how do you say? Light mode. Wow. In light mode, they probably look even more spectacular, but I'm enjoying them so much, even in dark mode. So yes, that preparation for the music collab will be the second part of the stream. We're going to start with RimWorld today. Yeah, my head needs dark mode. Water understands. Water knows what it is that was happening. Ne kieloni diras tion? Emojio. Ne, tio ne estas la sama afero. Bona demando. Mi neniam aŭdis tiun. Emoteo. Tio havas signifon en Esperanto, sed ĝi ne estas tio kion vi volas diri. Povus esti ke ankoraŭ ne estas specifa vorto por tiuj tviĉaj emojioj. Emoci-bildeto kial ne. Kio distingas ilin exemple, I feel it in the water just showed an emoji and an emote next to each other. What distinguishes an emote from an emoji other than the fact that it's on Twitch? I don't think an emote has to be on Twitch. I use them on Discord, for example. So what distinguishes them? Somebody said in Claire's stream the other day, they're branded. In order to try to explain to someone who was new to Twitch, it's a branded emoji. It's custom branded emoji. Yeah? Is that a reasonable explanation? Do kiel ni dirus tion en Esperanto? Eble tio ne estas la solvo. Kiuj aliaj aferoj distingas ilin? What other things distinguish an emote from an emoji? In trying to figure out how do you say X in language, step 1 is, what the heck is it that you're really trying to say in the first place? You can't necessarily just take the word and make it sound like that language. You have to drill in a little bit and think about, what is it that we're trying to say? It's possible that the community has not yet decided. Ooh, I love that. What is that? Clarion. Vi tu elsendas kiel mi ne sciis tion. Kiel mi ne sciis tion. Ĉu mi sekvas vin eĉ? Did we know the Clarion stream? Are you kidding me? What is going on? Why didn't you tell me? You stream every day? Wait, I have followed you. What is going on? What? Did everybody know this but me? All sorts of games. created a castle full of cats. Oh my gosh. How did I not know this? My brain is going right now. Oh, it's usually not polite to mention it, so I don't mention it. Well, yeah. I mean, there's a difference, I guess, between... I think it's in the how you mention it. There's like saying something that indicates that you relate as a streamer to some struggle the streamer's going through by saying something. I don't know. Rather than saying, come to my stream, it's at such and such a time. Like, of course, people aren't supposed to do that. And why is it that my layout is doing weird things right now? Why can't I see what I'm looking for? There we go. A safe haven. I can't read English anymore. Savants and savages, heathens and hipsters, magical maggots and electric aesthetes. No wonder I can't read this. This is difficult to read. Those who overthink and those who overfeel. This is a clarion call to feast on my carrion sprawl. This is cute. Grapple Dog is not a game I know. Yes. Okay, well, now everybody needs to go check out Clarion. Okay, so this means I need to do some behind the scenesy stuff. Are you in my Discord, Clarion? You are, I assume, because you need to have See, this is another way you can do it, guys. If you're in somebody's Discord and they have a role for streamers, I have a role for Esperanto speaking streamers, so I need to give you that role. Let's see. Maybe you're not in my Discord. Maybe I don't know you on Discord. Do you even use Discord? Maybe that's why I haven't figured it out yet. I don't know. I don't need to look too deeply into the why is my brain not working, because, you know, it wasn't like I wasn't aware of the fact that my brain is not working very well. So yeah, anyway, we're working on fixing this. You'll pop by the Discord later. Okay. So I have a specific role for streamers, a specific role for Esperanto speaking streamers. I also created another Discord for Esperanto speaking streamers, hoping that we could, like, you know, help each other out, compare notes, and what's working, what are the needs that we're seeing in the community that's coming to our streams, etc., etc. How can we collaborate? How can we help each other? And it's not very active yet, but I haven't, you know, spent the time doing a lot of things in there yet. So, yeah, that's where that stands. It exists. That's exactly where that stands. It exists. Kai diru denove de kie vi venas? Because I've forgotten already. You probably told me before, and I'm really sorry. Like I say, brain doesn't do the things all the time. And my coffee is very quickly going from too cold to too hot. It gets that way towards the bottom of the cup. My cup warmer is very much so. All right, we are going to be playing RimWorld. We should have started out in just chatting, but here we go to our gaming scene. We are starting up the game. It should boot momentarily. Magic is happening behind the scenes. Swirly, loady. Hello? Loading is, yes, there we go. Initializing. Okay, now, first thing I need to do is go in here and turn on the music, because the music is awesome. And then I need to turn down my speakers, because you guys don't need to hear the music with echo. Saluton korako, vi manĝ pauzas tre bone. Ni ludos iom da randomondo kaj poste faros pri muzikpreparoj. Bonan apetiton al vi. Delta. Delta estas la ludo por la angla lingvanoj. Oh, Delta is the English language stream. Now, we have 2 characters who can be adopted here. Let me tell you about them. Mole is a psychopath. This is not the bad thing you think it is. What it means in the context of this game is Mole does not have a negative impact when Mole sees dead bodies. That's kind of a superpower in this game. It doesn't create like Mole doesn't go around saying nasty things to other people. There is a personality trait for that. It's not psychopath. Psychopaths don't do that in this game. Psychopaths pretty much just don't get bothered by things that bother other people. And so that's like really kind of special. I'm trying to sell this to you guys here, but I do think that in the context of RimWorld, and only in the context of RimWorld, psychopathy is a distinct advantage. Now, it's possible in the context of the real world, psychopathy is also an advantage to oneself. I'm not so sure. I think it's maybe one of those things that cuts both ways. Definitely not an advantage to those people around you. Stug is the other colonist who is up for adoption. For those of you who would love to play along at home, we are offering adoption of colonists primarily to subs of the channel. Stug is a sheriff and, you guys, a jogger, which is arguably the best trait in the game, because no matter where Stug is going, they get there so fast. You're going to notice Stug moves at almost half again as fast as anybody else. It's amazing. Others fail to keep up. So Stug is going to be the first one to get anywhere where everybody's going. That doesn't help us out on caravans. Stug is held back by the slowness of the rest of the group. But when it comes to getting around and doing things, so Stug is going to be a hunter, and that's going to be incredibly efficient because they can go all around the whole map. And my poor mouse. All right, hang on, guys. There is not a cat hissing. It is this mouse. Wait, let me turn it around. This is the scroll wheel. It's a vertical mouse. It doesn't really matter. Scroll wheels can get a little, like, I try and zoom in and it keeps zooming back out again. And so I have to try and blow the dust or whatever out. I don't necessarily, I've tried to look up tutorials for how to disassemble this, and it basically does not appear to be disassemblable. I could be wrong. These are not designed to be user end service, let's just say, but blowing on the mouse wheel seems to help temporarily. So we also have a prisoner who is a beautiful body purist. Beautiful is great. Body purist is a little problematic, especially as it comes on later on into the game, because the longer people live out here on the Rim, the more they wind up having challenges that need, body parts that need replacing or updating, or, just things happen. And so being a body purist means they're going to be unhappy later on, but being beautiful means everybody likes them. Cannot cook, but sure as heck is amazing at social stuff. We've got 2 relatively new, one new and one future new colonist who are amazing at social stuff. So Mole is mining, construction, and shooting, and Stug is shooting and social. Laufer will be, again, not available for adoption yet. Exactly, Water. But will be, my goodness, we get to take our choice. We've got a lot of people who are social, shooting, and construction and mining right now. Anyway, if any of you would love to adopt one of these colonists, please let me know. Again, priority to subs of the channel. Way I can say thank you. So we are going to go ahead and let it roll and check in with all of our colonists here. Constellatio has had a run-in with a grizzly bear and is healing up. The torso wounds make me a little bit nervous because if they get infected, it's dangerous. So we're gonna make sure that oh wait, Constellatio is not actually sleeping, just resting. We're gonna make sure that the room is clean. Should theoretically not be Constellatio doing this. Oh, fully healed. Boom, just like that. Excellent. That's very good news. All right. Also, Constellatio is currently experiencing a mood boost. What's the mood boost? How do I find that out? I know there's a way of finding this out. Social? No. Bio? Oh, here we go. Inspired. Shoot frenzy. Well, so was Solune. As they were in an exceptionally good mood because they just got married. That he's resting. Could you ask again with more words? Alex, will you please clean this room because it's a pig pit. The kitchen is very dirty, and the dirtier a kitchen is, the more likely we are to have didn't finish cleaning, decided to eat. How about hello? Oh, Yuvia or Luvia. How do we say? I should not have assumed it was Yuvia because there's only one L. Welcome in. Good to meet you. Where are you watching from? Is he happy because he's resting? They were both happy because they got married. Constellatio and Solune just got married, and they were feeling exceptionally happy about that. It's Luvia, but is it Luvia or is it Luvia or is it Luvia? From Alaska. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh my goodness, Alaska's awesome. The first one. Accent on the my brain couldn't remember which order I said them in. No. Luvia. Luvia. Like that. And welcome in, by the way. I think Alaska is amazing. It doesn't matter that much. I got it from Baldur's Gate. Yes, Baldur's Gate is awesome. You're a back in the day gamer. I love it. That was a little louder than I meant it to be. I apologize for anybody's eardrums I just blew out. Please know that I'm right there with you. I just blew out my own eardrum with you. Hello, hello. All right. So, here's the thing. I have been learning a few things. Not much yet. Just learning a little bit about some of the things that happen in this game and how it works. And one of those things that I'm learning, and we don't need two of these here. We're going to move one of them over here. One of those has to do with who does what where. So we're going to look at these places of work. Oh, is this separate for every single order? Tell me it's not. Details. It is. Okay. All right. So instead of choosing a worker to do this, what we could do is choose a minimum cooking skill. Do we have cooks with cooking skill 8 or more? Let's find out. Cooking 2, that's a nope. Cooking 3, also no. 2. Cooking 7, Irizanyo's very close. Cooking 2, cooking 3. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We are going to say Irizanyo is going to be making the quantity 4 items, because I didn't get too loud. Oh, excellent to know. We're going to have Irizanyo, because Irizanyo is closest to 8, and 8, I've learned, is the magic number after which there is not really a lot of chance for getting food poisoning. So we don't want to have a big batch of food that that involves food poisoning. We're going to allow any worker of level 3 or above to do these 2 things. I know that's risky, but hear me out. If something happened to Irizanyo and she was temporarily incapacitated, we need to increase the skill of a few other people so that there are other people who can cook just in case. Now, one way we're going to do this is the low risk of cooking one meal at a time. So if something were to go wrong, it would only affect that one meal. The other way we're going to address it is by building this wooden butcher table. Who is good at building things? Construction 306. Irizanyo is the one who's good at everything. Mole is the one. All right, Mole, when you wake up, would you pretty please work on building that butcher table? Excellent. Constellazio's having breakfast. An early riser, Constellazio is. 5 a.m. And Irizanyo is already cooking up a storm. Now, I'm wondering how this is going to actually work out in terms of the permissions, but we'll just try this and see what happens. Okay, so let's have a quick look around at our bedrooms. How are they looking? Clean. This is the prisoner room. It's also not quite clean, pretty good. Who is going to be chatting with you? Oh, nobody's been chatting with you yet. Oh, this is not a prisoner. This is a guest. All right. Okay, now I remember. Guys, we have a guest, and that means we need to do everything we can to help that guest feel so happy here that they will decide to stay with us. That would be wonderful. That's our goal, but we're not going to kidnap them to make that happen, because then everybody from their clan would be very unhappy with us. If they decide to leave, their clan will be happy with us because we helped them get well. For some reason, the game on my stream is looking super duper pixelated. It's not looking that way in my game on my other screen. What is up with that? Anybody else seeing the game as pixelated? In regards to Constellatio's larkiness, the RimWorld apple doesn't fall far from the IRL tree. Larkiness. I love that word. All right, we have had a visit of a group of people who are from the same clan as our guest. And they are here to trade with us. That's excellent. Maybe our guest will be like, I'm feeling better. I'm going home with my friends. And that's fine. Who is our trader? It's Stug, isn't it? Social 10. I did a misclick. All right, it's Stug, who is going to unload this muffalo. We have just gotten home from a trading trip of our own. Lips, how did you get here? Lips, the torturer, is unwaveringly loyal, a mercenary gunner from Isitos. You see what I mean? I don't want to make enemies of these people. F2F. What is F2F? All right. When you're simply ready. Actually, we're gonna just do it now because location. All right. What do we have to sell? What do they have to sell? Do we want a pair of goats or a female pig? We could sell them one of our alpacas. We don't have any money, so anything we want from them, we have to trade them things to get that. And I think that trading some animals is perfectly reasonable. They're happy to have them. We could sell this muffalo. We could buy some squirrel meat, but I'm not going to. Face to face. I see. This game is pixelated for me because I had to reduce the frame rate because mobile. But I think there's something going on my end that's making it pixelated. And I don't know why. It seems unreasonably pixelated to me, honestly. And I'm not sure what's going on. Why it's doing it, I really don't know. We can trade away a bit of leather, some steel, and some clothes we don't like anymore. All right. So, out of what they have, what would we love? They have a bottle of beer, one single solitary bottle of beer that they are willing to give up and trade to us. I don't know about that. Advice has been given that it's good to always buy components. On the other hand, I haven't even used these components. Seems like that's a later in the game thing. And that it would be a little premature to think about that. Do you guys have any weapons you could sell me at all? No weapons whatsoever. I'm kind of disappointed. Also, no armor at all. A veil out of Devil's Strand is almost like armor. I think that would be worth having. I really do. And a hyperweave colony cowboy hat for plus 10 social impact would also be a good thing to have. Now, we could let it go here and walk away with some silver. But we could also think about, do we want some goats for milk? Do we want some sheep for sheep wool? Where are our pinch points right now? And unfortunately, I have to just kind of remember, and I don't. I'm not seeing any pixelation on my end. Twitch says your resolution is 720p. It doesn't look worse than 720p to me. Okay. Okay. It's just funny because this is the first time that I've noticed, looking back and forth between OBS and the game, which having a 2-monitor setup is relatively new to me and really awesome. This is the first time that I've noticed a distinct difference between the two, and it's possible that it's been just like this all along and I've just never noticed it till now. All right, do we want to sell one of the donkeys? Or another alpaca? You know what? I think since we have alpacas, I'm not going to consider buying sheep because alpacas give fiber and are a pack animal. And so that's a better choice for us. So the question is, do we want some pigs? We have pigs. Do we want some goats? Goats would give us milk and meat. I think that seems like a good idea. Let's get a pair of goats. We don't have any milk animals, do we? We can't see it. All right, we're going to do this. We're going to push pause, and then we're going to look around. Do we have milk animals? Because I don't think we do. We have some pigs and turkeys, alpacas, muffalos, donkeys, and 3 dogs and a fox. If you don't get sheep, wolves can't hide in the sheep's clothing. That's true. Donkey. All right. So I think we should go ahead and get those goats. Goats. And also, let's leave these folks with a present. We're going to give them a present. We should have done this first. Strategically speaking, we should have done this first. Let's give them some of our leather and a little bit more steel. And that will increase our relationship by 11 points. We can go back and forth between trade mode and gifting mode. I see. All right, we're offering those gifts. Awesome. All right, relations with Isitos have changed from 5 to 16. What day is it? 56. All right, guys, we are coming up real soon on day 60, which is when it's possible for basically we're under some sort of a protection. early game protection for the first 60 days where certain really terrible things just don't happen. After day 60, I've learned some more serious stuff can go down. So yeah, we need to get on it with our research. And our research tab is currently at smithing. So that's going to allow us to upgrade both armor and bladed weapons. We are doing this in a very organized fashion for the first time ever, seeing how that goes. And the major improvement that gives us is that it helps our capacity for research. We are using researching as a tool to increase our ability to research more quickly, which is very important because we are doing the long run, the hard mode of starting with a tribal colony, which means we will always be at a technological disadvantage throughout the entire game. And as you see, this column over here that's been fully researched is only the very first column in the entire research tree, which goes all the way over here, way out there. So yeah, that's your in-game stuff over there, which is going to take us a very long time to research, but hey, we are upping our game a little bit at a time. Solune is our academician. Nope, I'm incorrect. Who is it? Wait, it is Solune. It's me? It's me and Solune. Hello? Who's our researcher? Who's doing this research here? It's Solune. It could be me, but I'm busy doing some other things. Yeah. All right. Luvia, coming from the child of teachers, you sound like a teacher or a librarian. Oop. You got me. So, my parents and grandparents, there've been teachers in my family going back generations. Everybody's like either a teacher or an entrepreneur. Mia manch pauso finigis, mi vidos vinciwin poste. Hasta luego, queridos humanos. Have a wonderful second. Is that do we say second shift? Second half of your shift. I hope that you have good places to visit and lift with your knees, not with your back. And what else do I say? Have a good day. Cheese, cheese. You did what? Says Korako. Research stunting, courtesy of me killing Korako. Yes, Water and Korako had a little situation, and now they are no longer with us. So yes, Korako was our researcher extraordinaire, and yes, Water had a little hissy fit and did Korako in, if I recall correctly, but also Water now is also no longer with us. So that was an unfortunate day. We lost two very, very valuable members of the community, Korako, and I feel it in the water. Which, my darlings, you could be reincarnated because we have Mole and Stug here. Hello. So like I say, I start out every stream telling you all about their wonderful qualities and characteristics. Claudion sheds a tear. Yes, and the lovely thing about these beautiful, excellent, artistic sarcophagi are that they are in a place where we can visit them, and that helps us feel better when we miss our friends too much. We just go and visit them over here, and we have the power of reincarnation. So we can rename these two characters here if either of them appeal to you, Korako and Water. That is a thing that can be done because nobody else has jumped on them. I feel like Mole deserves to stay Mole because he's been Mole for so long now. Honestly, yes, Mole was not one of our original colonists. Neither was Irizarno, I think. It was Coraco, Water, Constellatio, Alex, and Solune. But yeah. Mole was OG? So are you saying that either you or Coraco were a wander-in or a kidnappee? It was you, wasn't it, Water? I don't remember. I wish we had more information about the history of things. We have messages going back a little ways, but not all the way. Definitely not all the way. Oh my goodness. So yes, it was a timber wolf that hunted Water. That's how that happened. Water died of blood loss on September 9th, 5500. Nope. Timberwolf hunted Water. Water survived that. And then Water went on a murderous rage. Probably because insulted by Irizarno, I think. These things happened one right after the other. Irizarno went on a insulting spree. Water went on a murderous rage. And decided to kill Coraco. Because, not because of insulted, because of serious pain, possibly because of being attacked by a timber wolf. The things that happen here. And then Coraco has broken inside and become obsessed with corpses. That all happened at the same time. We were trying to prevent Water from killing Coraco, but eventually, the next day, Coraco died of malnutrition. Oh, Water, it wasn't your fault. Technically, Coraco died of malnutrition. Wow. These things that happen. Anyway, I wish we had this record going all the way back to the beginning of the game. That would be lovely, but it only goes back a certain amount of time. And that's the extended list, but it also only goes back a certain amount of time. Yeah. Nope. So, there have been only 2 colonists have died. I like that we have the log too. But anyway, back to the story. I am an Esperanto teacher and used to be a ballet teacher back in a former part of my life. That things happen, life changes, and that was a 20-some year long part of my life, but great feat for stat lovers. Yes, we love statistics. I saw a very funny short on YouTube. It was Neil deGrasse Tyson saying, I don't go in for conspiracy theories, but and he thought this one was very fun. I'm going to go ahead and let this play on. He said, isn't it interesting that the educational system in America is financially supported by gambling, by the lottery, right? A percentage of the lottery goes, the money that people spend on the lottery goes to schools. And schools do not, at the K-12 level, include statistics, which is exactly the form of mathematics that would lead to people realizing that playing the lottery is no way to get rich. So if schools were to teach statistics, they would therefore not be receiving the money from the lottery because people would not be playing the lottery. Neil deGrasse Tyson was saying, now I don't really believe this conspiracy theory, but still. All right, now, can any of us visit, who's good at doctoring? Can any of us visit and cheer up this guest? None of us? Nobody can do it. That's a shame. All right. Do we have the ability to make anything pretty to put in the room? Is this an art bench? It is not. It is a stone cutter's table. Let's make an art bench. We will make something pretty. Art bench. We'll put it right here. Yep. And also recreation. We need more recreation. We're going to put a little game board right here. I have discovered you can use a chair properly even if it's pointed in the wrong direction. I'm not sure if that's valid for workstations, but for eating at a table and for playing a game, the chair does not have to be pointed in the right direction. So, Americans do not learn statistics in high school. Not in public school, they do not. Statistics is not included in the math program. So yeah, that's a thing. Very interesting. Okay, now we are going to add a bill to make kibble until we have, somehow we have 75 already. Until we have 50, seems reasonable. We may change that later. And to butcher creatures. Now here's where we dial in. We're just going to do that forever, but it's going to be any worker with a cooking skill of up to 8, 0 through 7, but not 8. Because we want to, basically, we want to increase the level of anyone. Can we say Alex and Stug? We can't. Can we? We can't say Alex and Stug. No. So that means we have to do it this way. Say only people who I'm here, don't kill me. Okay. We're figuring out how we can get you some help in the kitchen, Irisanyo. That's what we're doing right now, because Irisanyo has skill level 7. And that means that pretty soon Irisanyo is going to be able to make food with pretty much no chance of anybody getting sick for it. That happens at level 8, so I'm told. And when you are using this butchering table, you are gaining cooking skill, but there's no risk of getting food poisoning. Guys, don't try this at home. In real life, there is a chance of getting food poisoning from mistakes that you make at the butcher table. Ask anyone who has butchered a rabbit. There are certain mistakes you don't want to make. Now, kibble, on the other hand, is not going to gain you skill with no risk. You can make kibble that can give food poisoning. So we're not going to apply that. We're going to just, let's not get the animal sick, because then if we made kibble that got the dogs sick and the dogs were wandering around inside and throwing up everywhere, that would just lead to us getting sick, because it would make the kitchen dirty. And we're just going to say, make kibble. Oh, wait. Yeah, this will work. We can say make kibble if you have level 8 or above, because we currently have tons of kibble and Irisanyo has level 7. So she'll be level 8 soon. Start kibble at 2 or 3 and then up it. I think we can up it already. Let's see. Irisanyo is currently at level 7, weak professional, and really close. Now, here's what I don't understand. Irisanyo is currently cooking, but that number is not visibly moving. Does that mean it's moving that slowly? No, it's not moving slowly. It just jumps at the end of that cooking session. Fair. So right now, Irisanyo is the only one who is batch cooking. Cooking skill is gained on completion of cooking item. Luvia plays RimWorld. Woo! We got another RimWorld player. Irizanyu plays RimWorld as well. So, feel free to correct me if I say something that is like factually incorrect. I don't necessarily want all of the spoilers because I've been enjoying discovering things as I go. I'm definitely taking the slow road to learning this game, but Irizanyu had a day, needed comfort in a colony. Yeah, sometimes dealing with the problems of your RimWorld colonists is just the perspective you need to be like, okay, yeah, my day was a day, but hey, at least nobody went on a murderous rampage. I feel that in my soul. Yes, those who play RimWorld do understand. Stug, could you help out with a little cleaning because this kitchen is filthy. Again, how does it happen so quickly? I used to play with mods, and one of the mods I really loved was doormats. Simple as doormats, so that when people walk in, not all of the dirt from outside comes inside with them. And I was like, yes, this is exactly what we need. Doormats. It's so simple. Okay. We're not going to play for a really, really long time because I also have some preparation to do for a music collab that's coming up in just a very short amount of time. Oh, the quest has expired. That's fine. We weren't going to do that anyway. It was way too difficult. Peace talks, I think also, we didn't, but now we have Stug. We could send somebody on peace talks. Let's look. Peace talks. No, wait. That's expired. Active. Trade with Antioch. Light leather. How are we coming on that? We didn't choose to sell the leather. I had a feeling. What have we got? Leather, 188. Uh-oh. Why? We've didn't we say don't make stuff out of leather? We did. We said don't make stuff out of leather. Interesting. Well, that's weird. Definitely weird. But we can do some hunting. And this is very lucky for us that we have a whole bunch of gazelles. So what's going to happen here is our hunters will increase their, this is Stug mostly, increase their shooting ability, which will increase very quickly because he's very interested. Never tried it, didn't, oh, straw in front of the door, help as a doormat, never tried it, didn't Google. Straw, as a straw floor. Well, we can give it a go right here and here. Should we try that? Floors, straw matting. Let's do that. They can come in from the corners. Oops. Straw floor. Theoretically, it's interesting. I'm wondering how to think about this because straw isn't supposed to get dirt on, like have dirt on it in a way, dirt free. Does that mean that it would be less likely to collect dirt from people's feet, even though in a way you would think it would be more likely to collect dirt from people's feet? It's a question about how does the game mechanic work? I don't know. But it is definitely worth the attempt because we have the materials, we can do it, so why not try? I've never heard of people putting straw in a kitchen or in a butcher room, in a kitchen, to prevent that. I've heard of all sorts of strategies, but I've never heard about people using straw in a kitchen. Maybe that's because it would burn up with a campfire in there. Maybe nobody thought of it before. I mean, maybe. Unlikely because of how long this game has been around. How long has this game been around? Like 10 years or something? Does anybody know how long this game has been around? A long time. All right. So let's see. We've got... How are our rooms coming along? I should have cleaned up before going to bed. Irisanyo's putting the hay somewhere. Ah, taking the hay here. Excellent. And Irisanyo's room is already totally clean. I love it. All right, I've used straw floor in the entire kitchen. Works really well, but I've never used one piece of straw floor as a doormat. Sounds cute, but I mean, cute is cute, but is it effective is what we really are wondering. So you've used straw floor in the entire kitchen and it works really well. How cool is this? We have a question, and right here in Twitch chat is the answer. Yet again, another data point for the argument that Twitch chat knows all. Twitch chat knows all. It's a thing. Oh, Constellazio and Salune need some privacy. We're going to go visit our newest colony member. Their bedroom is very dirty. Their bedroom is the brewery because they showed up and we were unprepared and we were going to make this their bedroom, but then we wouldn't have had a prison, and then all of a sudden we have a guest, and what do? I'm obsessed with RimWorld. I mean, you're not alone here. Supposed to be packing, but I'm slacking. Well, maybe we can provide a little company for you as you do some packing. How long are you going to be in Berlin? Harvesting the glow stool. All right, so here are zones of protection here. We've got a little corridor, naturally formed corridor here, and another little naturally formed corridor here, where people who come from this side of the map tend to attack. Over here, we have a place where people can hide behind these walls, but they tend to kind of come in right along here, and so we put a few traps here, and that's taken care of everybody that needs taking care of so far. We haven't had any raids come in from here yet. That hasn't been a thing. And we've had some come in from somewhere down here, in which case they tend to start by attacking these sarcophagi, which makes me mad, but then eventually come over here and we hide behind those little things. So 10 days. Yep. So packing lightly. Yeah. I also have a trip coming up that I'm feeling some level of anxiety about, just in terms of taking a trip, because I feel like I'm in a cycle of I would like to not be taking a trip right now, but timing is not necessarily always something that we have a choice about. It is Anya's taking a trip right now because the lift doesn't work right now. And I'm taking a trip right now because a family member is in the hospital right now. Yeah. Stepdad had to go to the hospital last week urgently. Out of the hospital yet again, or still in the hospital? Hope he will be doing better soon. So I think this is everything we're going to accomplish in this RimWorld colony today. We are going to transition into music category. I'm going to take a short little break to get myself a little hydration. He was expected to have to stay 2 more weeks, but got released today. Congratulations. That is excellent news. And he's avoiding having to use the stairs. That's good. That's good. Yeah. When I had an ankle surgery, wound up putting a bed in the living room as well. Got a bed in the living room so he could go home. Yes, there's something to be said about recovering at home. It's good to have the supervision if you need it in the hospital, but once you can manage, it's nice to be at home. So we are going to save and quit to menu. And I'm going to leave this up so you all can... Home is where the puppy is. Oh, is that conducive to recovery, or does the puppy kind of like jump on him? And I guess it depends on what's going on. Oh, he's 4 now, so not a puppy, but still, I mean, some dogs retain that puppy energy. I mean, if it's anything like a golden or, you know, a lab, they kind of have puppy energy. It's like puppy, 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 adult, old dog, old dog, old dog, old dog. There's like not very much regular adultness. There's like puppy for a real long time and then old dog for a while. But that adultness in the middle is real short. It's a corgi. Oh, the dog loves him. So I bet the dog will be really happy. He's back. I bet he will be really happy to be back with his dog. That's excellent. All right, we're going to leave this on so you can have this music because I'm currently not playing advertisements on Twitch on purpose. There still are pre-rolls if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not running ads during my breaks currently at the moment. That's like a temporary choice that I'm making so that you guys don't have to watch some particular ads that Twitch is choosing to play right now. Hopefully that will be not forever. I didn't get one today. Didn't get one what? I didn't get one today. I'm pretty sure that's a direct reply to something that I said that I have no recollection of what I said. I have the same thing. Like when I'm in Twitch chat, I say something in reply to a streamer and then the streamer has no clue. You didn't get an ad. Oh, okay. Is that because somebody gifted you a sub? You play Twitch on your Google TV? I think you're a sub. You get ads on your Google TV. So when you watch on your Google TV, you're not logged in as your sub self? Or if I play it in my browser, I don't see it. That's funny. That's not fair. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I wonder whether there's a way to log in a different way. You're logged in, but even if you have a sub, you could. That's so not fair. It's so not fair. Oh, I wonder if there's a way to fix that. I don't know. I'm going to take a short break and then we are going to go back in and I'm going to change the category now to music. It'll be a very short break. And we're going to go to the BRB screen, but leave the music on for your listening pleasure. And I will be back very, very shortly. And we'll do some preparations for my music collab that's coming up in just a short time. Oh, I see that Constellazio requested a stretch and I did not honor it. Therefore, I'm going to refund your points. I did not see that. Apologies. Here we go to our BRB screen. Hello, hello. Back again. Oh, my category did not change. I thought I managed to get that there. Could anybody confirm that we are now in the music category? Definitely meant to do that at the beginning of the break. All right. You see music, yay. All right, I'm catching up on chat just a little bit. It's hard to figure out what Twitch is up to. Twitch be twitchy. All right, we are going to quit the game. There goes that music. So what we're doing is pulling up my tabs. Let's see, not that. All right. The Twitch musician that I'm collabing with later this month is Claire Pix. So what I've been doing is going through her streamer song list and looking for songs that ought to have been on my list anyway because I already know them, or that I basically know them and just hadn't thought to try and work them up into my song list. So we're putting that over here. Good. Let's see. So we got through, was it the first page? Was that it? Where were we? Grow Old With You is already in. Make You Feel My Love. Did we go through? No, we went through 2 pages. That's where we got to. We went through 2 pages. So we're going to go on to page 3 of 5 1/4. So that puts us on a reasonable pace. The Scientist is one that I had been trying to learn at one point. So I think let's have a look at it again and see if it's within my capacity now, because I remember it was on my list and then I took it back off again. We're going to try the tenor ukulele today. My wrist has been giving me some trouble. It's a lot better today at the moment, but it's one of those things where it kind of can act like it's okay, and then all of a sudden I'm realizing, oh no, maybe not. So we'll switch back to the concert uke if necessary. It's a lot smaller here, so it's less strain on my wrist, but it doesn't sound as good. So this has a D minor, a B flat, C, F, and an F sus2, which is one of those chords I never use, but it's really, really beautiful. I love that. Come up to meet you. I think I need capo. Yep, gonna need a capo. We're gonna capo too, and we're gonna put on the ridiculous fingertip-less supportive gloves. And because I don't feel like doing the Michael Jackson thing, we're gonna put on both of them. There we go. All right, let's try this again. tell you I'm sorry. You don't know how lovely you are. I had to find you, tell you I need you, tell you I set you apart. Tell me your secrets, ask me your questions. So let's go back to the start. Running in circles, coming up tails, heads on a science apart. I forgot to turn on the autoplay. Nobody said it was easy. Oh, it's such a shame for us to part. Nobody said it was easy. No one ever said it would be this hard. Oh, take me back to the start. I was just guessing numbers and figures, pulling the puzzles apart. Questions of science and progress don't speak as loud as my heart. Tell me you love me, come back and haunt me. Oh, and I rush to the stars, running in circles, chasing our tails, coming back as we are. Nobody said it was easy. Oh, it's such a shame for us to part. Nobody said it was easy. No one ever said it would be so hard. Oh, take me back to the start. Compression gloves, yes, they really help when I'm having pain in my hands. And it's for certain songs, it's really necessary to have at least the left one on when I'm trying to play the ukulele or the guitar. So turns out that song can be turned back on again if it got turned off. Something happened with my streamer song list where everything got turned on that had been turned off, and there were some things that were on there just as like, I would like to have this on my song list. They were like aspirationally added to my song list, and I hadn't ever looked them up or learned how to play them or anything, and somehow they got activated. Everything got activated, and that was a terrifying time, and it lasted way too long. But Nighty showed me how to unactivate some things, but the question is, where does the scientist stand? So we're going to go in there and check, and I didn't remember to sign in, so I might have to do that thing. Nope, I am signed in. Oh, how magical. It's because I was on here yesterday doing things. That's why I considered learning to play left-handed, because the pressing strings is the hard part for my fingers. So one hand is a little easier to do that with than the other. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. It's just, I don't know of an easy solution. The only thing I can think of, yeah, there's certain things that my right hand does more easily than my left hand and vice versa. So I definitely get you on that. The only thing I can think of is actually buying a left-handed instrument. But that's not really something that a beginner could do. So the only thing I can think of in that case would be get a really, really cheap ukulele, which, you know, ukuleles are one of those instruments that you can get one for, you know, probably $40 and have a reasonable instrument, and then restring it so that you're learning the mirror image of all of the chord shapes. You have one. You have one. Excellent. So yeah, if you restring it at $30 to $40, yeah. I don't know exactly how that's going to work for the instrument long term. It's possible that it won't make a really meaningful difference to the instrument long term. So it's possible that that could work for you. But just don't try just turning it over and playing it left-handed. You've got to restring it to learn the chord shapes on those. You even have a tuner. Excellent. You mean built into the instrument? Not at $30 or $40, right? Like a clip-on tuner? Probably, I assume. Some come packaged with it. Yes. It's not that hard to restring. So, let me ask, does it have this kind of thing at the bottom? This kind of thing means you tie a knot in the string and then just slot the knot under this. Hang on. The knot goes in underneath those little, I don't know if you can see, it's a little dark. There's a place under there to put the knot, and then it slides up like that. If it doesn't have that, let me show you my other ukulele, then there's a special knot you have to learn, which is not that difficult. If it's like this, where you tie it on, come on, you can focus. Maybe not. So it's a little hard to see, but I can find you the video that I use that shows how to tie that knot. It's not too difficult to learn, but it is very specific. And believe me, for a long time, I had to always find that video and use it whenever I was restringing my ukulele, because I don't restring my ukulele every other week. It's not something that I do often enough for me to really learn it by heart. But eventually, I think I will get to the point where I feel more confident in tying that knot without hand holding. But for now, I always go ahead and pull that up so that I have the hand holding. All right, so now I'm looking up The Scientist. I removed it entirely. How sad. Okay, we're going to create a new song. That's how I solved that problem of me not knowing how to play it and it being activated because I didn't know how to deactivate it. How sad. Coldplay? That's right. Scientist Coldplay? Yes. Okay. It's active. And we're going to create that and then edit, advanced, and add this in here. So I think I should go ahead and screen share what I'm doing with you guys, since this is very kind of behind the scenes procedural stuff. We're going to go to this. I think I'll leave that there, even though it's chopping off the top of my head. What other options do I have? If I... Nope. That... Hello? What? There we go. What I want to do is that so we see more of the ukulele. Hopefully a little more of the ukulele. Here. Do that. That's probably fine. Okay. And should have pulled in the browser capture sooner. Properties. Streamer song list. Set to good. Good. All right. Okay. All right. So, Irizanyo, if I forget, send me a DM and I will send you a link to a YouTube video that shows step by step how to tie that knot. Or I'm sure you can find one too if I'm not fast enough. But yeah, I would suggest, it's a Lanakai, nice. I would suggest don't take them all off all together. I would suggest like maybe swap the 2 inside ones and then swap the 2 outside ones or something like that. Why am I in the red? Why am I dropping frames? Why, Twitch, are you doing this to me? I mean, I'm not playing Fortnite, so it doesn't matter. I see that little red square in the corner and my heart rate goes up, my blood pressure goes up, and it doesn't matter. It's okay. I can drop a few frames when I'm streaming music. People can still hear me. It's no big deal. It's really no big deal. All right. I think nothing is good about this layout, but we're gonna live with it. It is, and if at any point you decide you want to take like one step towards if you decide at any point that you want to get another ukulele, maybe a different size, or something like that, then I can give you a little bit of tips in finding yourself your next one if this turns out to be something that you just love. I started out on a soprano, and then I got a concert, which is the next size up, and that's currently my small ukulele because my soprano is living with my goddaughters. And the one that I play most is a tenor ukulele, which is the largest size that has the same chord shapes as the baritone ukulele has guitar chord shapes rather than ukulele chord shapes. Now that might not be a problem. A tenor is. I'll show you. This is a tenor. Is that big? I'm assuming yours is a soprano. If it was a beginner and at that price point. This is a concert. The darker brown one is a concert. It's larger than a soprano, but as you see, smaller than a tenor, and a tenor is smaller than a baritone. So the 4 main sizes are soprano, concert, tenor, baritone, in that, smallest to largest. There's a bass ukulele. I've never played one. It has big, thick rubber strings. And there's a sopranino and a sopranino. I think there's even a sopranissimo that are so tiny that you really can't get very much of a good sound out of it. I was so excited when I got my concert because I was like, oh my gosh, the sound is so much better than my soprano. And then I was even more surprised when I got this tenor. What I feel like is this particular brand that I have, this tenor, is a Donner, and I got it on Amazon, and it's a ridiculous amount of quality for the price. Now the price point is more in the $80 range, but the quality is well above that, in the like $100 to $200 range. It like sounds comparable to instruments that cost in that range. So that's exciting. But the other thing that matters a lot in design is what strings you put on. And you can like look at reviews and talk to other people that play the ukulele. Ultimately, it's going to be a matter of what feels good and sounds good. It'll be a matter of experience. So don't buy like a 3-pack of strings right away. Get a set of strings. Obviously, strings come in a pack of 4 because there's 4 strings on the ukulele, but don't buy a set of 3 sets of 4 strings until you know for sure that you love that particular set of strings. Hello, Meg. We're talking about ukuleles. I'm cradling my ukulele in my arms while we talk about ukuleles. So as you play with different strings over time, you'll learn which ones feel good to you and sound good to you, and you'll get your favorites. And that may change over time. Like I've recently made a new change, and I play this with a linear tuning rather than a reentrant tuning, which means this first string is an octave lower than it normally would be. So normally on a ukulele, oh, something's touching that string. Normally on a ukulele, the first string is higher than the second string. It goes G, C, E, A. And so on my tenor, I have a G string that is an octave lower. No jokes, please. So normally the G would be... Wait. Hello? Oh, I've got a capo on. I'm like, what's going on? There we go. And normally a ukulele would be like, but this one has a low string. I wonder if I can play right-handed that way. Yeah, with the splints it might work. You can't know till you try. So I would say give it a go, and then like try turning it around and closing your ears and just seeing if you can like make some of the chords. It won't make the right chords, but if you can make some of the same chord shapes, even though it makes totally wrong combination of notes, if you can see if you can get each of them to ring out. I'm just fiddling with it and going, wait, this isn't that bad. Yeah, if you can learn it the standard way, it will make your experience a little easier just because you'll have better access to information resources that other people are sharing. I think your experience will be more similar to other people's, more of other people's experiences. So that could be a bonus. On the other hand, you absolutely have to do what works for you. I love getting into the nuts and bolts of it with people who are learning the things with me. We're always all going to be leveling up. I do have to retune it. Yeah. That's going to be normal at first. Whenever you have new strings on a ukulele that haven't been played very much, it's going to have to be retuned a lot. You don't have a musical ear. It will come. It takes time, but you can hear it's off. Exactly. So you do have a musical ear. It's just, it's not programmed yet with the specific information that you need, and that's going to happen only with like more exposure and more experience. So if you can hear it's off, then you do have a musical ear, and you definitely will be able to learn the things and be able to eventually tune by ear. If you can hear that it's off, you will eventually be able to hear when it's on. It's a very good sign. If you can hear when it's off, I'm like, yes, you've got it. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. It's when you can't hear that it's off, Exactly. You're exactly where you need to be right now, Irizanyo. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. And then use the tuner as a tool, and then just you'll remember eventually what you hear and be like, oh yeah, that's how it's supposed to sound. And also for me, it varies from day to day. Like there are days when I can tune by ear and there are days when I can't. And I think that's probably normal because I'm in the learning process, I assume. Okay, so we've added the scientist. That's exciting. And we're going back to Claire's list. What about Yellow from Coldplay? Let's try that. Send you a link about which tuner I have. I think it's a decent one. Cool. I don't know a lot about tuners. I haven't used one for a long time. No, you don't. Here, look, here's what I do. I have the words here, and the words have the letter on top, and I've learned that when I see this letter C, I put this finger here. And if I forget that, oh, hang on. I gotta temporarily make the chat go away. Okay, when I forget that, I look up here and it shows me here's the shape. So eventually you learn to read this little chart, because this is the string that's farthest away from you, and this is the string that's closest to you. And so on the string that's farthest away from you, you put your third finger, that's your ring finger, on the third, like right in front of the third fret, like so. I have not found reading music notes to be a thing. I think probably if you were trying to play classical music on the ukulele, like people do classical guitar, that's a thing. Now this riff here is written in what's called tablature. I don't know how to read that, but I can kind of explain it to you even though I don't know how to read it. The A string, basically they're showing you this is the fret that you're going to be doing. So the A string is the one that's farthest away from you. Five, 6, 7, 2, 2, 2, 0, 2, 7, 0, 0. Oh wait, there's an E string in there. Okay, so we got 4, 4, 2, 4, 4, 4, 2, 4, 7, 2, 2, 2, 0, 2, 7, 0. Then 2 on the E string. And that's the riff at the beginning. The only song I need to learn is Dek Bovinoj, isn't it? Well, yeah. We can do that in a minute. But mostly I'm focusing today. How about this, Irizanyo? You do some packing. And then when you need a break, we can play Dek Bovinoj together. I'll pull it up here. And you can see what we're doing. Can you see my mouse? I'm assuming. I think, no, you can't. If I put it here, you still can't see my mouse. Shoot, here I was pointing at things and you can't see my mouse no matter what I do. Or can you? You can't see the mouse now? That's sad. Mirvenis. Bonan revenon korako. All right, we're going to try this song. I'm going to remind myself to put on the auto scroll. All right. Look at the stars, look how they shine for you, and everything you do Yeah, they were all yellow. I came along, I wrote a song for you, and all the things you do, and it was called Yellow. This is a bridge, isn't it? I don't think I know this part. So when I took my turn, oh, what a thing to have done, and it was all yellow. I have no idea what that part is. Your skin, oh yeah, your skin and bones turn into something beautiful. You know I love you so. You know I love you so. I swam across, I jumped across for you. That G was written in the wrong place. Oh, and also, you guys can't see the bottom of this screen, so I have to wait till it gets a little higher. I swam across, I jumped across for you. Oh, what a thing to do, 'cause you were all yellow. I drew a line for you. Oh, what a thing to do, and it was all yellow. Your skin, oh yeah, your skin and bones turn into something beautiful. You know, for you I'd bleed myself dry. For you I'd bleed myself dry. Look how they shine for you. Look how they shine for you. I have no idea how this goes. We're just gonna play some F's and G's. Once in a while, C. We'll throw that in there. Outro. Look at the stars. Look how they shine for you, and all the things that you do. I don't think so. The mouse cursor is back. Yeah. It's weird, huh? Because a minute ago, I could see this cursor moving around on my screen. That one over there. Not this one over here. That one over there. But I could see that over here. It didn't show up for you guys. That's very, very, very odd. But well. Maybe that happens only when I'm rolling. Nope. I'm not rolling and it's still here. Well, oh well, mysteries. So I don't feel great about that song. I don't think I'm gonna add it. But it was good to try. How about Have You Ever Seen the Rain by Creedence Clearwater Revival? Bum bum. Let's see. Oh my goodness. It's those four chords. Those four chords. So Iris Año. These four chords, I would say, would be the first ones to learn, because you're going to see a lot of songs that, like, you can play a ton. Once you've learned these four chords, you can play a ton of songs. I think there's someone who even did a website that showed, like, what order to learn the chords in based on to be able to play the most number of songs. However, what I do basically is, if I go to a song and I'm like, oh, this list of chords, it includes too many chords that I don't know, or something like that. Then what I do is I go down here and I click on, you can't see that yet. I go down here and I click on the transposer. And then I just move around until I find something that works for me. So it works best if I use the negative numbers, because then I can make it sound the same by putting a capo on that same number on here. So as you can see, there's more or less difficult chords as you move around. So obviously in this case, this was the easiest option, but in other cases, the original key is not necessarily the easiest one. Not sure. I played Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, not sure what chords those were. It was more than 5 years ago. I see. Well, let's give this one a try. I'm gonna need a capo. Let's try capo 2. Someone told me long ago, there's a calm before the storm. I know it's been coming for some time. When it's over, so they say, it'll rain a sunny day. I know, shining down like water. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? There's something about that I need to listen to. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day? I didn't put this. Yesterday and days before, the sun is cold and rain is hard. I know, been that way for all my time, until forever on it goes, through the circle fast and slow. I know, it can't stop, I wonder. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain? I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day? I feel like we did this recently. Did we do this? I don't know. Let's look. I'm only backspacing. There's something about Streamer Song List that you can backspace and it just like, nope, and it puts the letter back in several times. All right. It's already been added. So that means we kind of went further along on this list than I thought. How far? I'm really not sure. The Blower's Daughter? Was that as far as we got? Or did we try that? Please stop auto scrolling. Thank you. All right. Did we try this? I don't remember. Mrs. Brown, you've got a lovely daughter. I don't find it. Is it because I didn't put the apostrophe? We need the apostrophe. There we go. I think we tried this. Whoa. We looked at this and said, my wrist hurts. I can't play this today. Now, I can do the transposy trick to find out, are there any easier options? But when there's this many chords, the chances are there's going to be some hard chords in there. So we're going to try it, see what happens. Anything look easier? I mean, that honestly looks a little easier, but this A flat minor is an issue for me. And that also has an A flat and an A flat minor. A flat's okay because I can just like do it like an F with a bar chord basically. I think you did a different song from the same band. This one, there we go. Yay, all right. I'm so glad I looked. So we're gonna try this. A flat, yeah. That's A flat. We're going to try this, and we're going to try putting a capo on 4 to put it into the original key. That doesn't mean that's the right key for my voice. And so it is, just like you said it would be. Life goes easy on me most of the time. Let's turn this on. And so it is, the shortest story. No love, no glory. That's pretty much wrong. No hero in the sky. I don't really know this song that well, obviously. And we need to tune a little bit. Can't take my eyes off of you. I can't take my eyes off of you. I can't take my eyes off of you. Can't take my eyes off of you. Can't take my eyes. I don't know this song. Let's keep trying. And so it is, just like you said it should be. We'll both forget the breeze most of the time. And so it is, the colder water, the blower's daughter, the pupil in denial. I can't take my eyes off of you. I can't take my eyes off of you. Why does that sound weird up here? Can't take my eyes off of you. 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 There's a bridge. Guys, we're stopping before we get to the bridge. I would say that's a song like I could potentially learn. I'm gonna copy that because it has the transposition. As many times as I've heard it when I've been at other streamers' streams, it doesn't mean I've... Yeah, it says right up here, difficulty level 4. Whatever that means. Advanced. This is a hard song. Well, it's a lot harder in the original key, let me tell you. I'll show you again. These chords are way harder than those chords. G flat minor is the same shape as a G7, only a little bit closer to me instead of a little bit farther away from me in terms of where it's positioned. So that's not difficult, even though it's a chord I almost never play. G minor, also not a chord that happens a lot, but it's not difficult. And I basically I just have to think a second before I get there. And E flat is surprisingly easy if my hands don't hurt. Compared to E, which actually has no open strings. I find E difficult, but E flat is a lot easier than E. It's odd. All of the other chords are totally normal chords that I use all the time. So one thing that I do, Irizano, that might also help you. Have I heard the original? Yes, maybe once or twice. Mostly I've heard covers on Twitch. There are a lot of people that would choose to bar a chord like C minor, like so. But doing a bar chord is more difficult for me, and it might be the same way for you. I would say experiment between the version of the chord where you put your fingertips each on a string and the version of the chord where you use the side of your finger, or kind of halfway between side and bottom. And for bar chords in general, as you're holding on to the instrument, you can use leverage you can use the strength of this arm to pull on the instrument a little bit so that you can use your big muscles in your arm instead of, if I'm not holding tightly to the rest of the instrument, then I have to use my thumb and pinch very hard with my small muscles in my hand to make a bar chord happen. So it's easier to do all kinds of fretting, whether that's bar chords or not, if you use leverage on the instrument, because then you can use big muscles in your arms rather than little muscles in your hands to make the strings push down hard enough to get a nice sound. How's the packing going, by the way? If it's going well, don't answer that question, because that would take you away from the packing. All right, so back to the list here. What are we deciding about the Blower's Daughter? I think we should add it, but not activate it yet. Go. Unactive, and then show inactive, and edit. Hello? Edit that. We are adding in these tabs, the chords from here, and the transposed version even. So when I click on this, it'll go directly to that transposed version, because I copied and pasted directly from this page that had already been transposed here. Alrighty, so next we're going to try none of the Dear Evan Hansen. Maybe I will follow you. Maybe. Let's look. It's not there. All right, doable chords. Except for, what's that? Ah, okay, that's a bar chord. I have no idea how that intro is supposed to sound. We'll just skip right on to the verse. Do I need a capo? I think I need a capo. Love of mine, someday you will die, but I'll be close behind. I'll follow you into the dark. No blinding light or tunnels to gates of white. Just our hands clasped so tight, waiting for the hint of a spark. If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, illuminate the nose on their vacancy signs. If there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, then I'll follow you into the dark. I don't know what that C is doing there. It doesn't seem to sound right. Let me scroll up here. In Catholic school, as vicious as Roman rule, I got my knuckles bruised by a lady in black, and I held my tongue as she told me, son, fear is the heart of love, so I never went back. If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, illuminate the nose on their vacancy signs. If there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, then I will follow you into the dark. You and me have seen everything to see, from Bangkok to Calgary, and the soles of your shoes are all worn down. The time for sleep is now, but it's nothing to cry about, 'cause we'll hold each other soon in the blackest of rooms. If heaven and hell decide they both are satisfied, illuminate the nose on their vacancy signs. If there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, then I'll follow you into the dark. Then I'll follow you into the dark. Why did I think I could get through that song without crying? Zero evidence to point me in that direction. Absolutely no reason that I would think that I could get through a song like that. So, Irizanya, what I'm doing today is I'm going through Claire Pick's streamer song list to find out which songs of hers I know well enough to do as a collab with her, which songs of hers I could sing without being able to play, and also which songs of hers can I just put on my list because it's a good opportunity to steal songs from another streamer's song list. So I'm not going to look specifically for a Snow Patrol song today, but bring that up in another stream. Most streams I don't go looking for new songs. Tio mal ofte. Que angla canto causas vi implori. I'm just curious if it's in there. You can find out on the song list. Yeah. I doubt it. I mostly have old songs, not new songs. All right, so what are we deciding about that? Like, theoretically? But no, I think it's too sad. Like, I like sad songs, but that's like too sad. All right. Looking at Absolutely Smitten, that's one that I was at one point trying to add to my list. So maybe. My assumption is I can't play any Dodie songs. My assumption is they are too difficult. But maybe that's no longer valid. Why would I think that was too hard? Maybe it's because of the E. Yeah, I'm more folksy. More folksy and less rocky. A5 is one that I don't know. It's an interesting sound. Don't remember how the song goes at all. Some stranger, you have made her insides turn to jelly. No, this one isn't in my head enough to come out of my fingers. So moving on. We'll look at Secret for the Mad before we give up on all Dodie songs today. We have to put the hyphens, don't we? Boom. Ugh. Ugh. I'm not in love with that A flat minor. Let's look for another option. This one's theoretically possible, but I also think my wrist wouldn't appreciate the F minor right now. Maybe. Heck no. Yes. There we go. I'm having good luck with this transposing for I Mean No Harm, suggesting songs we like from the list that matches Claire's. I see. Okay, so basically I'm going through the list in order. So I'll get there to the Snow Patrol eventually, but right now I'm just kind of combing through it to see what comes up. If I go out of order, I'll get really confused. No harm suggesting songs, but I just haven't got there yet. I didn't realize that she had songs from Snow Patrol. My scrolling is not working again. And there's some things that I am not following in the chat, unfortunately. I think I've been finding that this process of going through and looking at new music uses up my brain juice a lot faster than singing songs that I already know, which is what I normally do on stream. So we will have a look at Secret for the Mad. We've got it transposed down 4, so I'm going to put the capo on 4. To bring it back to the original key, don't necessarily know that that's how it's supposed to go for my voice, but we'll try. Maybe no. We'll try it without putting a capo. Nothing to apologize for. I just am not coping as well as I could hope for. Some of my hopes are not reasonable for me. I've got a secret for the mad. In a little bit of time it won't hurt so bad. And I get that I don't get it, but you'll burn right now, then you won't regret it. I gotta put the scroller on. You're not gonna believe a word I say. What's the point in just drowning another day? And I get that I don't get it, but the world will show you that you won't regret it. The little things, all the stereotypes that are gonna help you get through this one night. And there will be a day when you say you're okay and mean it. I promise you it'll all make sense again. I promise you it'll all make sense again. There's nothing to do right now but try. There are 100 people who will listen to you cry. And I get that they don't get it, but they love you so much that you won't regret it. You're at the bottom, this is it. Just get through, we'll be fixed. You think that I don't get it, but I burn my way through and I don't regret it. Little things, all the stereotypes that are gonna help you get through this one night. There will be a day when you say you're okay and mean it. I promise you it'll all make sense again. 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 Can't do it. Can't add that. It's too hard to sing for me. Jolene used to be on my list. It is no longer on my list. Whoa. So these are Claire's alternative lyrics. Because Claire finds the message of the song to be adaptable to other viewpoints, let's just say. And sometimes Claire does her alternative version and sometimes she does not. All right. Let's just see what it looks like. Interesting. Interesting. I wonder, I'm curious about the choice to transpose. I don't know. We'll try it this way and see how it goes. Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him just because you can. Your beauty is beyond compare, with flaming locks of auburn hair, with ivory skin and eyes of emerald green. Your smile is like a breath of spring, your voice is soft like summer rain, and I cannot compete with you, Jolene. He talks about you in his sleep, there's nothing I can do to keep from crying when he calls your name, Jolene. And I can easily understand how you could easily take my man, but you don't know what he means to me, Jolene. Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him just because you can. You could have your choice of men, but I could never love again. He's the only one for me, Jolene. I had to have this talk with you. My happiness depends on you, whatever you decide to do, Jolene. Jolene and Jolene, 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 I'm begging of... Why do we not have the chords there? Thank you. I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. Jolene, 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 please don't take him even though you can. I need to put a pillow under my door, as I realized I should have done that earlier, and I did not. Sound insulation is not a thing in that door. What do we think? Do we like that song? Do we want to put that on our song list? It's a song that I can play, but just because I can doesn't mean it necessarily fits. I'm not necessarily inclined to put it on the list. However, I should put it at least on a separate list that I'm keeping of songs that I could just do as a duet with Claire, even if I don't put it on my list. So that's my separate list for that. Yeah, I okay, put it on a possible list. I'm putting it on the list for just duetting with Claire. And I just won't put it on my streamer song list. It's hard for me to judge whether under normal circumstances I would like to okay. It's hard for me to judge right now whether under normal circumstances I would enjoy something that I'm not enjoying right now. Because I'm very aware that I'm not currently enjoying things because I'm temporarily having like more anxiety and depression to deal with than I normally otherwise would. And so I can't necessarily judge how I feel about something as being like, it's valid for now, but it's not necessarily, no. No, definitely not, because like I'm feeling this way all the time right now. And so if I stop doing the things that are normally normal for me to do, then that will be very depressing for me, right? So I need to keep trying to do the things that I enjoy when I'm feeling better, so that I can hopefully get back to feeling more like my normal self. So yeah, I'm just kind of pushing through right now, and so that's okay. Sometimes that's how it goes. Freeze rate. I swear I looked at this. When did I look at this? Did I look at freeze rate on stream on Monday? I swear I looked at it. I swear it wasn't then. Sometimes I push to do things I don't really enjoy. Yeah. I just feel like it would be so easy for me to fall into just doing nothing right now. And I know that that's not going to help me get back on an even keel. I need to continue to do things that are meaningful in my life. Otherwise, if I do nothing that is meaningful in my life, then my life will not feel meaningful. I don't know. See, that's the thing. What is fun stuff when you're not feeling it? When you're feeling depressed and anxious all the time, what is fun stuff? And putting pressure on myself to be like, why am I not enjoying this? Just makes me feel like more depressed and anxious. So I'm kind of focusing on what can I do that's meaningful, even if it's difficult right now. It's okay if it's difficult right now. That's all right. But if I'm doing some things that are meaningful, like preparing for this collaboration, that's good. It's okay for me to do things that are not possible for me to enjoy in the same way that I would if I were not feeling depressed and anxious. It's fine to go through this process, because then I'm maintaining my contact with normal life and reality, you know? I'm maintaining my capacity to do meaningful things. And I'm not stressing out about whether or not I'm enjoying it. No, don't feel bad. I mean, these are valid suggestions. I'm just sharing like what's working for me right now, and also there's a difference between, like, if I were assuming that the increased levels of depression and anxiety that I'm feeling right now were permanent, I would be making different decisions than I am making right now. But I am continuing to assume that this is not necessarily permanent. Depression and anxiety are things that I've dealt with for many decades of my life. Now that I think about it, okay, actually all decades of my life, but not at equal levels at all times. So there are times when I feel better than others, and this is not one of those, and that's okay. It's not forever. It's not always going to be like this. So I'm kind of trying to go, okay, how can I reduce the pressure on myself and yet kind of maintain a through line of like, okay, I'm doing things in a little bit of a different way. I'm enjoying them a little bit less, but I'm hanging in there until I feel a little bit better. Because continuing to be connected to the things that bring, not shaming yourself for not doing it. Very key, very key. I applaud that. I think, yeah, definitely having a clean environment helps one feel better. But if one isn't feeling well enough to get the clean environment, then making yourself feel guilty about that on top of already feeling bad enough that it's been it's become difficult to get the clean environment, then that's like you're doubly punished, which is not fair. I'm almost to the point where I'm like, I want to do this for me. Hey, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, so I have a recollection of looking at freeze ray. But I don't have a recollection of looking at freeze ray on stream, so I'm not sure when it was I would have done that. So I'm feeling confused about that. You're feeling it with the double punishment too. Yeah. Yeah, it's already enough that you have the first punishment. That's one thing I'm managing to keep up with better than anything else, is putting clean sheets on the bed. And that's not something, like, I've been doing clean sheets on the bed even more often than quote unquote normal. And that's like the one thing that I've felt like I've been able to step up with recently. And it's always so lovely. Like that moment of crawling into bed, for me, it's hard to get myself to crawl into bed. It's hard to get myself to go to sleep. So creating a little bit of extra loveliness about that process and about that moment has been a positive, helpful. It doesn't fix everything, but it's nice. There's no one thing that's going to fix everything, but okay. So we've got laundry day, see you there, under things tumbling. Wanna say, love your hair. Here I go, mumbling. With my freeze ray, I will stop the world. With my freeze ray, I will. The heck is an A flat? Oh no, we don't like an A flat. We don't like an A flat at all. No, we can't do an A flat. Okay. Oh, so sad. Let's try simplifying. Yes, here's a version without an A flat. All right. Okay. With my freeze ray, I will stop the world. Wait a minute, G sharp is this. How dare! I've been debated. You all know something? You want to know something? A flat and G sharp are the same chord. It's the exact same thing. Oh, I asked for a simplified version, and I looked for the A flat, and I didn't see the A flat there. Why? Because they renamed it to G sharp. How dare they? How dare they? How dare they? Hydrate. Okay, I'll hydrate. Thank you. So they removed the slash chord G6B, which looks like that. It's like one finger here and one finger here together. It's a G without the middle finger. You take away the middle finger. They took that away because that's complicated, and they didn't give me a solution for the A flat other than going like, you don't like A flat? Fine, we'll call it a G sharp. All right. We're going to unsimplify it, and we're going to transpose it. Oops, that's the font size. Transpose it. Don't like that. That's maybe okay. It's in a lot of bar chords. So, see, when you get into transposing something that, oh, hey, this one's better. All right. We might be capo 5ing. Let's try it. Let's try it. Okay, what's that slash chord? That's interesting. Laundry day. See you there. Under things tumbling. Oh, wanna say, love your hair. Here I go, mumbling. With my freeze ray, I will stop. Wait a minute. What's that? The world. With my freeze ray, I will find the time to find the words to auto scroll. And tell you how. Oops. What's that slash chord again? Oh, I see. I was off. Tell you how you make me feel. What's the phrase? Like a fool, kinda sick, special needs. Anyways, with my freeze ray, I will stop the pain. It's not a death ray or an ice beam, that's so Johnny Snow. I just think you need time to know that I'm the guy to make it real. Why does that D not sound right? The feelings. Obviously, it goes to a key that I'm not, or I've gone to a key that it's not happy. I can't find it. The world to will make time. The guide. Feeling. No. Will make time stand still. I don't get it. We're going on. And that's the plan. Rule the world, you and me, any day. Love your hair. Anyway, with my freeze ray, I will stop. Dr. Horrible Sing-Along blog was a Joss Whedon internet television show. Yeah. Very cute. And that's Dr. Horrible's song, and he's the lovable villain of the story. Korako likes this song. Well, we should probably, if I add this to my song list, we should probably have a watch along, or even a sing along on the Discord, because this is not a song that should go onto the song list if people have not seen Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. If people have seen Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, great. If they haven't, then I feel like it's incumbent on me to do something about that. or at least provide the opportunity for people to do something about that. And so we'll put it on the list, unactivated for the moment, and we'll consider freezer. Water's in, of course. New Discord watch party. Yay. Of course water's in. Could water, if you're this excited about it, could I talk you into organizing it, perhaps? Possibly for late in the month or before I leave on my trip, one or the other, because I'm having an enormous amount of anxiety about this trip, and I think it would be best if I didn't add anything for while I'm gone. Let's see. Here it is. We edit that by adding this right there. Okay. Let's look at LV's clarity. I probably don't have permission to look at this, though. I assume that I do not. I do. What do you know? All right. I'll have to get with you on that water. I don't have that date in my head. Capo 6. Oh, could have just slid it, but no. Y. All right, I'm gonna have to get out the little ukulele for this. Come here, you. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Okay. Ouch. Ouch. All right. I wish I could loop. That would make this easier. Oh, yeah. Breathe. Everything is gonna be alright. Smile. You know the universe is on your side, and then it seems like everything is trying to bring you down, but it's starting to change. Can you hear that sound? The sound of clarity when you know you're in the right place at the right time. Hear that melody as the world is trying to whisper these subtle signs. Feel the love all around you. It's never been a better day to feel alive, feel alive, feel alive. Pause, close your eyes and feel the wave lift away. Don't be afraid to throw your hands up to the sky and dance around. Let it out, it's finally time to live your life. I don't know this song. We're gonna try again. I can't show you guys the whole thing because of the way this is set up. I'm so sorry. I'm doing my best. Do you hear that sound? Do you hear that? Oop. The sound of clarity. When you know you're in the right place at the right time. Hear that melody as the world is trying to whisper these subtle signs. Feel the love all around you. It's never been a better day to feel alive, feel alive, feel alive. Do you hear that sound? Do you hear that sound? Do you hear that sound? Do you hear that? The sound of clarity when you know you're at the right place at the right time. I'm assuming that this file is something that Elvie created and that she didn't block it. So I clicked on the... I used the link that Claire had, which I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have put on her streamer song list unless it was... I mean, the stuff that we put on our streamer song lists is viewable to the public. So if it was not appropriate to be viewable by the public, then we just need to give Elvie credit because she's an amazing streamer and she wrote this amazing song and I love it so much. And she's recently started streaming much more regularly again, and that's very exciting. Yeah, let's make that decision together on Discord about when to watch. But theoretically, that sounds cool. And oh my gosh, I have loved this song. I've loved listening to this song. When Elvie plays it, when Claire plays it, I think Schnaff plays it. And I never thought about trying to play it myself. And I love it. I love it. I love it. And for some reason, it sounds really neat on the not soprano concert uke, on the little uke, the little uke that I have. I dig it. I dig it. It's kind of got, it's, I don't want to use the word toy in a derogative way, but there's something about the sound of this ukulele, these particular strings on this particular ukulele, that remind me of a child's toy piano. And that's not a derogatory thing. There's a certain charm to it. It puts a whimsical touch to a very serious text, a very serious and beautiful and deep text. A baritone ukulele. And there's the completely other direction to go with it. Yeah. I never considered getting a baritone ukulele, but now that I'm learning to play the guitar, it makes me feel much more open to the idea. Before it was just like, oh no, I can't handle a completely different way of fingering. But quite a few streams recently, I've gone back and forth between the ukulele and the guitar, and so it's kind of like code switching between languages. It's like a fairy tale. Yeah, it does something in my brain. It puts me in a certain mindset, and fairy tale is adjacent, yeah, to that mindset, certainly, if not directly there. Yeah, I like this so much. I want to play it again right now. And of course I'm not going to do that. Childlike happiness in the sound. Yeah. It's kind of special. And I didn't put my Streamlabs overlays again. So I closed my Streamlabs overlays because I was trying to show something about how this website works that we couldn't see, like through chat. We couldn't see these chords, these chord charts. So that's why I closed that, and then I forgot to turn it back on again. But I'm so excited, and I will write Elvie and ask her permission to add it to my song list. I'm going to put it on inactivated until I get her permission. Clarity. Just checking. Here we go. Alrighty. Well, I feel like adding that song would potentially be like a huge win for today's stream. Like if that's all I achieve today, that makes it a huge win. Like if everything else goes terribly, which kind of has been, that's okay because I love that song. I think this Elvis is on my list. Some Elvis is on my list. That one is already on my list, so I don't need to check it out. May It Be we added. I wonder whether these are in a different order for some reason. Then I'm feeling really confused. Far From the Home I Love. Ugh. Shh. Sorry about that. Nothing. There we go. Ultimate Guitar has it. That's so many chords. Okay. F sharp major 7 is a no-go, but I can just do F sharp 7 instead. Let's see. Oh, also I can change back to my other. The baritone ukulele might be the most similar of the ukuleles to the quattro I had in theory have, but probably not in practice, if I can, back in Venezuela. Yes, a quattro and a baritone ukulele are, yes, Yes, more similar to each other, I think, than other ukuleles. Yeah, I could be wrong. Okay, well, this is out of reach. Why do they say C sharp 7 when that's literally a D7? Why are they calling it a C sharp 7? Why? Please? B minor, yes, okay. F sharp. Yes. Okay. F sharp. This is as close as I'm getting to the F sharp major 7. What the heck is this G sharp minor 7? And why? Why? Why are you this? Why are you like this? Why are you being this way? It's too hard, guys. There's too many hard chords. I wouldn't. F sharp. Okay, so what I'm doing, I don't know if I'm like, my options here, the ones I can play are, my only options, because it's not F, it's F sharp, something. I have to play something that doesn't have any open strings. And I can't reach my fourth finger that far. I have to pull it back. So that thing has to go on the same fret as the pinky finger, basically. You can't see what my hand is doing. Let me move to this screen here. I can't reach this. I can't get here meaningfully and make a decent sound. So I have to put this fourth finger here instead of up here. Is that a reasonable substitution? It sounds to my ear okay. Just all of them. I mean, I have to have a thumb on the back and then 4 fingers for 4 strings. It's a lot easier than the guitar where you got 6 strings and only 4 fingers. I guess it depends on what note is in the melody, so yeah, trust your ear. Well, I don't know until I play the song whether it will work or not, but that's the only thing I'm physically capable of doing and not have any open strings. The other one is leave that 4th finger off, but then there would be an open string, and because it's up a fret from the F, blobbity blobbity, whichever it is. I'm here, if you play the banjo instead, you need fewer fingers. Just kidding. Okay, water, I have no idea what is available in the Pro account, so my assumption was I don't need it. If I don't know what is there, I'm not missing it. What does Pro do? I'm assuming that I don't need it. My main instrument is ukulele. I'm a campfire ukulelist. Oh my gosh, why are you going through all of this stuff? Just leave me alone. I just want to know what's in the Pro account. Well, you can. None of these things are meaningful data. They're just sales pitches. It's not telling me anything. Backing tracks, multi-tracking, and tone bridge, none of which I can use on stream, whatever they are. my assumption is that I don't need any of this. I don't know. I don't think I can play this song. I think I can't keep track in my, like, I don't have enough brain juice left today to keep track of the number of new chords. That's 1, 2. See, if they call it a C#7 when I get here, my brain goes, that's a new chord, even though I know a D7, and I don't know why they don't call it a D7. I know, it's because of what other notes are in the song or something, but 1, 2, 3, my brain treats it like a new chord. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 chords that I don't know. That's too many. Yeah, it's interesting. A stretch, huh? Okay, let's see what we can do. Let's put this over here. So we're not going to try this one. Oh. And I need to go back here. Stretching is good. Hydrating is good. Closing that. Firefly and Hero of Canton. Are either of these in my list? Fireflies. Neither of those are in my list. Ah. So I have 3 different websites that I tend to use for going to get chords and tabs and stuff like that. This ukuleletabs.com, this ukutabs.com, and also I've already closed it, the guitar one, whatever it's called. Alright, A sus4 is the chord I don't know in this here, but it's doable. Very easy chord. It's a berry flavored electrolyte beverage. Comes in the form of a powder that I put in the water and mix it up. Alright, I don't think we need the capo. Jane. Oh, we need a microphone over here. How about that? Jane, the man they call Jane. He robbed from the rich and he gave to the poor. He stood up to the man and he gave him what for. Our love, hello? Our love for him now ain't hard to explain. The hero of Canton, the man they call Jane. Where's my auto scroll? There we go. Now Jane saw the mudder's backs breaking. He saw the mudder's lament. saw the magistrate taking every dollar and leaving 5 cents. So he said, you can't do that to my people, can't crush them under your heel. Jane strapped on his hat and in 5 seconds flat stole everything Boss Higgins had to steal. He robbed from the rich and he gave to the poor, stood up to the man and he gave him what for. Our love for him now ain't hard to explain. The hero of Canton, the man they call Jane. Now, here's what separates heroes from common folk like you and I. The man they called Jane, he turned round his plane and he let that money hit the sky. He dropped it onto our houses, he dropped it into our yards. The man they called Jane, he stole away our pain and he headed out for the stars. He robbed from the rich and he gave to the poor, stood up to the man and he gave him what for. Our love for him now ain't hard to explain. The hero of Canton, the man they call Jane. That's a great emote, Water. That's just very appropriate. Yep, this is from Firefly. Did we do a Firefly watch party in our Discord? We did that. Didn't we do that? Or was that Claire? Was it Claire that did that? That was Claire that did that, wasn't it? That wasn't our Discord. That was Claire's Discord. Right? Or did we do it? Well, I don't even remember. Should we add that? I did it? Okay, cool. Should we add that to our list? I mean, why not, I guess? It's hard to feel enthusiastic about anything right now, friends. So I'm kind of counting on you guys to let me know whether I should, in theory, feel enthusiastic about something. Should we do that again someday, basically, is all I'm asking you. It doesn't have to be that great. It just, should we leave it alone? Should we be like, that's fine, we don't need to do that again? We like Firefly. I mean, yeah, we like Firefly. That doesn't mean we like Alex playing Hero of Canton, right? Oh, belly laughs are good for the soul. Okay, let's try. It started around this time last year. My gosh, what's wrong with me? That's not what I meant to do at all. I did that wrong. We're just gonna say Firefly. I hope you guys will excuse me, but that makes life easier. It's active. I'm trying to edit it. Here, like that. And then we add the tabs there. Okay. Okay, we added that. Should we try the theme song? Can't believe it was only this time last year. Firefly theme song. Oh my. Oh my. The heck is a G9? G9. 9 chords are not in my repertoire. They usually have a pinky finger that's weird somewhere and difficult to achieve. Yep. It's weird. All right. It's a little bit like an E flat, only it's really stretched out. What? It's a weird chord, all right. Yeah, 9 chords are not in my brain or under my fingers at all, but we can try this. I don't do riffs, guys. You might have noticed. It says capo 3rd fret. What if, just hear me out here, what if I found some tabs somewhere that I didn't have to keep scrolling through? Firefly theme song uke chords. Yeah, let's try this. Oh, it's a beginner version. Love it. All right, we may or may not want to be capo 3'd. All right, let's try it. We need to auto scroll. Oh, there's no such thing. That's fine. Take my love, take my land, take me where I cannot stand. I don't care, I'm still free. You can't take the sky from me. Take me out into the black. Tell them I ain't coming back. One of these days I'm gonna have that E under my fingers. Burn the land and boil the sea. You can't take the sky from me. There's no place I can be since I found serenity. But you can't take the sky from me. That one's a nope. That one's a nope. We love it, but it's like, how do you flesh that out into an entire song? It's almost more of a jingle. I know it's called the theme song, but that's just because it's what plays before the first commercial. The song is like a redneck version of Decadent and Simplify. Why'd you have to do that? Here we go. I'm gonna copy this. Copying this. It's not going on the active list. I'm just making a note for later. Who wrote that? I don't know. Traditional. It's what I thought. Trad. It's like Chad, only old school. All right, so we're going in here. We're editing. It's inactive, and we're putting that there. All right, that's just like note for later, and hoping that I don't accidentally get everything turned back on again, because I don't actually know it. But if I learned it, then I could sing it, and Korako could sing along and get the goosebumps. The good kind, yeah. It's like ASMR. Right? Good kind of goosebumps. All right, back to Claire's list. The Firefly theme song was a bust. I swear to you, I've been through this list. What's going on? Ah, we fell back onto the second part of the list when I'm supposed to be on the third part. This is very confusing. I feel like my brain is used up for this particular task at hand. I wonder. I think I've done everything that I can for today. I just feel like I could continue to push through and my rate of productivity would just keep falling. So I think that means it's time for me to hang it up. And I'm feeling confused and frustrated about how little I've accomplished and how much remains to be accomplished. I think this means that I'm going to need to work on this a good deal outside of stream, because I don't see myself accomplishing anything on this meaningfully on Friday, of course, because Friday's Esperanto day. And so I feel like Friday's a day when I just kind of categorically can't work on this at all. And that's a little bit bitaurinde. Is disappointing the right word? Unfortunate. A little bit unfortunate for me. But I do love my Esperanto stream days. Thank you so much for that, Kurako. When I take into account the spoons that I have available at the moment, I guess I have to say I've gotten a lot done. And you know what? Here's the thing. If I did zero preparation for this collaboration, it would still be just fine. It would just be different. So I just feel like I want to do this level of preparation for this collaboration, but that doesn't mean that I need to make myself miserable about it. I can still do it to a point that I can handle and not past that point. So I think that's a reasonable way for me to think about it. I'm going to go back to my just chatting screen here and take off my ukulele and set it over here. And I'm going to ask Elisanyo if you would like to do that Dec Bovinoi song before I go, because I just wanted to give you an opportunity to do that, or something else that's that was so nice. Did you guys hear that? My back has been spasming out a lot, and so the muscles have been tight enough that I haven't been able to crack my back very much. And it started out with just being my lower back, and then recently went to upper and mid back as well. Actually, it started out just being my neck, and then it was my neck and my lower back. Now it's my whole back. But the neck is like very gradually getting slightly better. I heard that pop. Yay. It was highly effective. Highly effective. All right. Not currently dropping frames for what it's worth. 3 hours, 33 minutes. That's something else. I can set this stretch as completed. It did feel amazing. I felt the stress leaving my body afterwards. There's a certain amount of endorphin rush that can happen with a back pop that's on the extreme side. That's probably not great or safe necessarily. I'm not recommending this to anybody. Please don't try this at home. I don't even play a doctor on the internet. Just saying. You know your own body best, but take good care. So 3 hours, 34 minutes, 27 seconds, indeed. Let us see. I have a button here that shows me who's on Twitch right now. And that's very useful because, you know, it lets me make some decisions about where do we go and hang out. Preferably music, but also maybe RimWorld would be fine. I actually am only following a small number of RimWorld streamers so far. Oh, and I discovered something, you guys, about my Sunday night streams. I've been noticing two unpleasant. Let's not go there. I've been noticing two streamers streaming wildflowers when I finish my wildflower stream on Sunday. And I tried to raid one of them and discovered that they weren't accepting raids, or like I was not able to launch a raid. And so I raided the other streamer, who's very nice, exciting to meet them, and they're in a similar-ish place to where I am in the game. And then I don't know whether it was last Sunday, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it was last Sunday after I raided someone else entirely, neither of those two people, I went and visited that second wildflower streamer, and they are a whole season ahead of me. Like, they were at the turn of summer to fall. And I quickly realized that not only can I not raid them, like literally because their settings aren't allowing for it or something is not allowing for me to raid them, but also I can't even hang out there because it's so full of spoilers. Like I just realized, oh my gosh, I'm going to be learning things here that I shouldn't know yet. So I said my hellos and my goodbyes and yeeted myself out of there pretty quickly. And they were like, oh, if you want to be avoiding spoilers, maybe don't hang out here. I'm like, yeah, bye. So that's how that went. And now I know. So I'm not going to be torturing myself about that. Actually, our friends October Ember Music just went live, and I think that's probably where we're going to go, because of numbers. Yes, so many spoilers. I feel a little uncomfortable reading up. I do on occasion, but when I have a friend who is just starting, then sometimes I can jump in there before they get a million people in there. But so we're gonna jump on it before it gets busy over there at October Ember Music. I know we raid them a lot, but I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna work on expanding the friends that we go and hang out with. But I think it's a good vibe, and I enjoy hanging out there after stream. So I hope you all have a wonderful March, a wonderful rest of your week. And I will see you on Friday for my Esperanto stream. Let me kick this off. Cannot talk and type at the same time. And there's other ways to do this, but of course I don't always choose to do it the smart way. So I will see you on Friday for an Esperanto stream, on Sunday for a Wildflowers stream, and then we'll be back to music on Monday again. I am thinking that perhaps while I'm away on my trip, we might do a whole bunch of wildflowers. It's a possibility. I have not yet decided whether I'm going to take my laptop and try and stream from my laptop. It might be necessary, even just to keep working on my translation project. So trying not to check a bag, so that means every ounce counts. But we'll see how it goes. It's not the lightest laptop in the world, but I'm fortunate to have options. So we're going to our ending screen, and I will see you next time. Love you guys.